Today I want to talk about why a no can also be a yes, and how I went from 0 signups to fully booked in a month. Welcome to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast, helping ambitious introverts who feel deep down that they can add more value to the world to really thrive in their work. I'm Mariela Franker, and I'll be sharing what I'm learning as an introverted entrepreneur, a natural productivity coach, and a mom while I build my business online and take care of my family and myself. In this podcast, you'll learn the mindset and the practical steps to naturally increase the impact of your work while making space for your unique strengths as an introvert. Hi, it's Mariela. Welcome to another episode of Productive Introvert Community, the podcast. Today I want to talk about why a no can also be a yes, and how I went from 0 signups to fully booked in a month. If you're on my mailing list, Productive Introvert Letters, you've already gotten like the inside scoop of all this. I'm going to share with you about my failed launch. A little air quotes around failed. We'll get to that. A lot of people don't share what I'm about to share with you. And the reason why I do share these type of things is because I believe in celebrating our wins and also acknowledging our struggles. I mean, it's no use denying our struggles or keeping it all in. I used to do that. I did that for a very long time. It usually does more harm than good in the end. So I don't mean, this is not to complain about things that happen. I don't mean like go out and complain when things don't go your way. Okay, you can complain. You can complain for a little while. It's okay, let it out. But don't get stuck in complain mode, okay? There's so many things beyond our control, but I believe that things happen to us to teach us lessons. And the more open you are to receiving those lessons, the better you are at moving on from that. In the end, it's how we move on from our failures and how we treat others along the way that defines the type of person that we are. So, about my failed course launch. If this is your first time listening, you probably don't know anything about this. But if you've listened to a previous podcast episode or if you're on my mailing list, you've probably heard me talk about an online course, Energy Management for Ambitious Introverts. So, that was a course that I intended to run basically these 2 months, like November, December, end of this year. And I got 0 signups for that course. It was hard to get that no. Yes, I started preparing to run this course a few months ago. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when you're preparing to run a course. So I had run it already last year, and when 2 wonderful people from Productive Introvert Community joined, and I was able to learn a lot from them as well. So I wasn't completely blank on the content. I had a lot of the content done, but I was making changes because of the things that I've learned from the previous participants. But then talking about the course, I wrote specific podcast episodes about it, specific posts, specific articles, specific emails. There's a lot around it. And I learned to do that from courses that I've taken in the past. And to put in all that effort and to still get that no, that's rough, right? And I was gutted. I was properly disappointed, obviously. I really thought that, this was something that was needed and that people really wanted Well, I wasn't sure, maybe I wasn't 100% sure on that, but I definitely knew that the content was going to be helpful for people. And I'm human, I was really sad for a couple of days. I needed to get that out of my system first. Hence the complaining. But again, don't get stuck in that mode, because the point is, I learned so much from this second run. The main thing that I learned is that nothing is truly a failure. One interesting thing is that I clearly saw this time what wasn't working. And for some of the metrics that I was tracking around the course, I was able to predict pretty closely what outcome I was going to get based on the effort that I was putting in. One example is how many times the landing page of the course was going to be viewed based on how many times I was sharing it. So my prediction came pretty close to the actual number. And numbers are power when it comes to your business. So in the beginning, if you're new in business like me, I've been in business for 2 years now. You may not have that many numbers yet. So doing things like this can help gather some of that data, and it definitely did for me. So if I were to run this course again, I have a much better handle on what to tweak and what to look out for. Now, I'm not running this particular course again. So I need to test it again for a different offer, but I have a much better handle on, the procedure, the process. Like that in itself was a win for me to do the thing, right? Because sometimes we have these amazing ideas, we have all these brilliant, wonderful things, but we don't actually do the thing. For many different reasons. One of the reasons that kept me stuck in the past was I needed to be perfect in my head, and I needed to have confirmation from other people before I even started. Like I don't know if it was a mix of insecurity and not sure about the process, and not really knowing about my own process. That combination kind of kept all my brilliant ideas in my head. So now knowing more about my process and what I need to kind of come out safely, step by step, is allowing me to do the thing. And my results aren't always what I hope they will be. But in the end, I don't have control over my results. I have control over my effort. So that in itself was a win for me, doing the thing. Yes. And then learning about my stats, my metrics within my business, that is a huge bonus. Another great thing that happened is that because I was talking about this topic, and energy management is a huge topic for introverts, it's still the main question or struggle that I help people with. So what I was talking about, it resonated with a lot of people. And I had so many people reach out to me saying that they recognize themselves in my articles and my podcasts. That led to some people asking about my one-to-one coaching programs. And a month later, I am now fully booked with one-to-one clients until February next year. Mind-blowing. So it really shows that a no can also be a yes. Since I wasn't running the course anymore, it opened up my schedule for other opportunities. I could say yes to more people who wanted to work with me one-to-one, which for me right now is perfect because I love one-to-one work. Am I saying that one-to-one work is better than online courses? No. Okay? Not saying that. It really depends on your offer, where you are in your business, you as a person, what you love to do. And I'm also not saying that this scenario will play out for you like it did for me. What I'm saying is, do not be discouraged when you get a no this time around, okay? Because a no on one thing can turn into a yes on something else. If you want to know more about the inner workings of my business and about my day-to-day life, then sign up for Productive Introvert Letters. I share a lot of that in my emails. That's really the place where I share most of the day-to-day stuff and a lot of details. Sometimes I overshare just to prepare you for that. But if you're not afraid of a little overshare, and you're not afraid of talking about uncomfortable things, then please sign up. I would love to have you in our community. Do not sign up if you are looking for quick productivity tips that will 10x your output overnight. That is not what I and this community are about. We are about creating lasting change and helping introverts to add more value to the world in a way that feels really good to them. Have a wonderful flow today, and let's talk again next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.